Good day, Cochrane. Welcome to another edition of Fireside Chat. I am Mayor Jeff Genung. So, what happened at last night's council meeting? Well, let's get right to it. We had our organizational meeting where council, we appointed the deputy mayor for the next year. So happy to say that Councillor Nagel, Reid, and Wilson will be doing their turn as deputy mayor over the next year. We then talked about all of the committees and task forces that we have in the community partnerships, and we assigned committee membership last night. So if you want to check out on letstalkcochrane.ca or on the website, you can see what councillor is on what committee. For the most part, we left things as they were last year, just to have a little bit of continuity from year to year. Council is just learning and getting their feet wet, on a lot of the committees. So most of them we decided to just leave status quo for this year. We then moved into regular council meeting where we had a number of delegations. First one being, I'm pretty proud of this young lady, Jade Jansen, came and talked to council last night about banning single-use plastic bags and straws. So Jade had met with a few of us before. I had met with her last summer, and I have a quote that actually I want to read from my meeting with her on August 29th, way back, and I did read this out at council last night, and she really struck a chord with me in what she's trying to do for our community. So she said to me last August, "It's just one straw," said 2 million people. So that got a little bit of a laugh last night, but it's really true. Jade would like to see the town of Cochrane, and she presented to council last night to ask for a ban for these plastic items. Her presentation was very good. She talked about alternatives to replace the ban, the bags and the straws, and just really put together very well presentation that really tugged at the heartstrings of council and actually made a lot of sense and got a roaring round of applause out of the gallery last night. So it was pretty neat to see. So thank you to Jade for coming forward, and that was a great presentation. So if you want to check it out, you can see the live stream on our website, so please do so if you'd like to do that. Next, we heard from Kevin Roth. He's the Bow Meadows resident, and I don't know if you're aware, but we've been talking about mowing a patch of grass in the environmental reserve on the back of Bow Meadows lots. So he made a presentation on behalf of from 22 to 46 Bow Meadows Drive, all of the homes that back onto the grass that we're talking about were unanimous in their representation by Kevin last night at council to ask council to please mow the grass because they're worried about potential fire hazard in that area. So that will be coming back to our next council meeting for a decision of council, where administration is going to be putting together all of the information that we've heard. We've heard from Cochrane Environmental Action Committee, now the residents of Bow Meadows. So all of these, all the information is going to be compiled by administration, and they will be making a recommendation to council, and then we will be voting on it. So it'll be good to get that put to bed. Next, we had quite a few people in attendance, as I said, to watch the outcome of the Glen Eagles land use amendment, known, I guess, more commonly as the Jones Estate. This is the third time this has come before the council of the town of Cochrane, the first time for this particular council to hear from an applicant on that estate. And they were asking for 11 units to be built on that piece of land. Council has heard through the public hearing and a whole lot of feedback over the past few months on what to do about this particular application, and essentially what happened in a nutshell was council asked administration to go back and amend the bylaw to read residential zoning would be granted, but for one unit only. So that is in hopes that this application will not keep coming back to council. The people of Glen Eagles could rest easy and not have to deal with this situation over and over and over again. So that's essentially what's happening there. So next meeting we should see that bylaw come back for a vote finally on from council. Next, we talked about the bi-weekly pickup, and I've been hearing a lot about this. I've been getting pummeled on Facebook about the potential for us to go to bi-weekly pickup on the black bin only. Essentially, I asked council last night if we could put the brakes on this for just a bit. I would like to team up with Fabrizio from the waste management team to go out and do a little bit more education in the public. I'd like to take those people that feel like this is an impossible task that we are asking, and I would like the opportunity to very publicly go through some of the waste and recycling and organics that people are putting into their bins, and see if we can't educate people a little bit and see if we actually can get to the bi-weekly pickup. So council did grant me that we gave second reading to the bylaw last night, but we postponed third reading, so it's not in effect. And in February, we're going to come back with the findings of Fabrizio and I. We're going out, I think we're going to call it like a black bin Mission Impossible or green ops or something cool to try and get some people involved that really believe they can't meet the bi-weekly pickup with the black bin. So we're going to do a little bit more education, come back to council in February, and then either adjust or change things a little bit or go through with the bi-weekly pickup. So stay tuned on that. I should be all over Facebook, all over the media, trying to see if we can shift people's habits. We're not trying to tell anyone that you should be throwing away less waste. It's just what bin are you putting it in? So that is the message. So that's going to be coming back. Lastly, we talked about our budget. So Dave Devanna, the CAO of the town, presented the 2019-2021 draft budget. So this is staff's budget. This is what staff is recommending council approve. We're going to go out to a few public engagement sessions to check in with residents to see if this is exactly what the residents think about the town finances over the next 3 years. And then council will be deliberating on that in November. Middle of November, 15th, 16th, I believe, were the dates that we set to do public live streamed budget deliberations. So busy time of year, obviously, getting our budget lined up. And that was the main piece of the meeting. And lastly, we had a motion on notice from Councillor Wilson. Councillor Wilson brought his motion forward last night, and this is a very long motion, very well written, very well articulated motion, I might add. Very proud of Councillor Wilson for his work on this. He is basically asking council to look at reviewing and updating our policy where we would be funding grants from community groups that come forward. We're seeing a lot of groups come and making a plea to council to please fund parts or all of their organizations, and all of them are good groups, but we just think that it would be a good time to review that policy and maybe fine-tune a little bit and align it to closer to what is happening today in our community. So council approved that. Administration is going to be coming back next meeting to give us an idea of what the timeline would be, what the workload for that would be, and when we could expect to see an update on that policy. So shorter meeting on the agenda side, but it was a long talk on waste, a long talk on the Glen Eagles land use, as I mentioned. So, but all in all, pretty good meeting, good debate, and council is starting to come together and really discuss things at a really good level. We're having good meetings, I feel, and I think that we should just carry on and keep on moving forward. So look forward to seeing you next time on another edition of Fireside Chat. That's all for now. Thanks.